Welcome back to my channel. Mark Jones, Black Stain Carpentry here, refinishing this table that I previously had restored from dark gray into this shiny wood fiber white. First thing I want to do is clean it off with some mineral spirits. I normally use this table as my workbench, oftentimes when cutting stuff or leaving material on. I set my saw up on here often and then sand my materials on here, so there's a lot of sanding dust before I get out of this. So the reason I'm redoing this finish is because I wasn't particularly happy with it. I previously had refinished this table about 4 months before doing this, but some wood grain had rose and there was a couple of knots that were sharp, and I had filled with epoxy because water was getting stuck in them. So here I go sanding with, I started with 80 grit, I remember, and the sanding, it was a little difficult because each of the boards were slightly cupped, which is fine. This is an outdoor picnic table. It's no big deal. When we restored this, I remember we sent all of these boards through the planer, but I can't remember if I sanded. I probably did a light sanding. But anyways, the finish was pretty good, but it was just a couple of little imperfections. I decided to just refinish the whole table and add more coats of polyurethane on it later. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get everything the light touches. The sides, anywhere that I could easily sand, anywhere that a leg with shorts on would end up touching, or you'd sit on and it would be uncomfortable for your arms to place, wherever. Because we at times have picnics and stuff outside, not necessarily picnics, but like we barbecue something and we end up eating on this table. It's fairly used often, just sitting around hanging on outside. Being a Midwest family, oftentimes we go outside and enjoy the evenings because the weather is good and we have to put up with some pretty rough winters. So yeah, wiping this off now with some more mineral spirits just to clear my dust. I intentionally did this on one of the hottest days of the year so that it would be a one-day project and I could go really quick. End up coming at this with my next grit, which is a 120 grit sandpaper, and I'm leaving the finish on. I'm not taking the finish off unless a couple of bad areas that there were where I sanded down all the way to the wood fibers. Now again, I'm not too worried about this project. It was kind of just to allow my perfectionism to kick in because there were some imperfections, and I was thinking I might as well just do this right because I didn't do it right the first time. I might as well do it right this time so that I can enjoy this the rest of the summer. I know I did this on a weekend. I know it was like the hottest weekend because I wanted it to be done as soon as possible because I didn't want to have to come home and do it after work or anything along that line. I just wanted it to be done, finished, and usable. This is probably 180 grit sandpaper now. I didn't clean it off with mineral spirits because just wanted to save some time. Didn't really matter. It's a hot day. There's dust blowing around all over the place. And again, I'm more so working on the finish part of this video. It already has finish on it, but just making sure that I get a smoother finish rather than the bumpier one that I had. Here I'm spraying it off with a hose. There's finish on it. This is an outdoor table. If any grain raises, good, let it. I ended up also dusting off my mom's car with the hose because she gets mad at me if I let it get all dusty. Now there's already probably 4 coats of polyurethane on here, and I'm now sanding it with probably my final grit, which is 220. This is the sandpaper that I want to be the most thorough with now that all of the high spots are down. This is the area right here that I know was the bad area, so I'm spending a little extra time on it. As you can see, I moved and put the table right in the sun so that everything would dry fast. I hosed it down just to get all of the sawdust off of it, and then I moved it in the sun so that immediately it would dry and I could finish the sanding process and get some coats of polyurethane on here. Clean it up with mineral spirits because mineral spirits evaporates faster than water. Plus, this is in the sun, so it'll evaporate super fast. So once it's done evaporating, I can put my finish on the table. Now, my uncle gave me this sprayer because he won it in a raffle, and he's like, it's for spraying decks. I don't own a deck. I had a deck previously. I don't like decks. They're too much work and upkeep, which I agree. Way too much work and upkeep for really not that much enjoyment. So you could paint this with a roller. You could paint it with a brush. It doesn't matter. I just had the sprayer, and I thought it'd be quicker and easier, and I'd used it before. The first time I restored this table, me and my sister restored it. I took the table apart, sent it through the planer, and my sister sprayed the entire table with this sprayer. Shout out to my sister. She's got her own YouTube channel, Sips and Dips. I'll leave a link in the bio. She reviews food from Chicago area, well-known restaurants. It's all about the sipping and the dipping. Now, this isn't the greatest sprayer in the world. All I'm trying to do is put it on evenly. I'm not too worried. I want to really fill the end grain because I thought I didn't focus on that enough last time. Here I am filling the end grain. Now, this table takes a beating all year, and I'm not worried about it. I just want it to be an even coat so that it's able to be touched without being sharp, or if you're sitting on it with shorts, that you're not getting any splinters or any sharp touches on your leg. I end up sanding in between coats. I'm using a water-based polyurethane. I previously had used an oil-based polyurethane. So yes, I am mixing the oil with the water-based, but I'm not putting them on consecutively in a row. The table previously had an oil-based finish, and I am now adding, after I've scuffed it up, a water-based polyurethane. Here it is, Daft Polyurethane Exterior Clear Gloss. I looked it up, I did some research. They said poly mixes with poly. It might not be the greatest bond, but it'll still be a bond. This is an exterior table, not worried about it. If it was indoors, if it was something I wanted to last a lifetime, that's a different story. This is a table we got 18 years ago from my neighbor when they moved. My dad said he wanted it, so we kept it. I'm using the water-based because it dries faster and I could apply more coats in a shorter period of time. Plus, I have the sun baking on this. I did do this like the hottest day of the year so that I could add as many coats as possible. All I'm trying to do, once again, is just spray this evenly. It really doesn't matter. I end up sanding out any imperfections and adding more coats on top. Here's the final table once it dried. I haven't moved it back into the spot yet. But if you liked this video, let me know. You don't have to click the like, but if you could hit the subscribe to follow me along the journey of me doing all these little projects and woodworking and whatnot. And they're really fun. So once again, Mark Jones here, Black Stain Carpentry. Thank you.